right. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. All right. So let me just make sure everything's good because I got to talk about this real quick. Okay. All right. Let's talk about this. All right. I'm live. Good. Good. All right. So I got to call you gamers out today on this one. Um, the numbers are in. Well, the numbers are in, but this article here I want to talk about, right? As it says, more than 60% of US gamers, game players, only buy two games or fewer per year, save your fines. Only 4% buy more than one game a month. This is damning, right? Because so I I gotta talk about this. I want to read it. We're going to read this article, have a discussion on this one because this is interesting to me. Where more than 60% of gamers only buy two games or fewer per year. Two games per year. So uh, does this mean? So does this mean? Yo, Shizno, what's up? What's up, Shizno? Now I know this don't apply to you, Shizno. This article don't apply to you. You are in that 60%. I know that for a fact. But the majority of video game players in the United States only buy one or two games a year. A survey has found. Market research company Circana's senior director Matt Piscatella shared data from its Q3 2025 Future Video Game Survey, specifically his data on purchasing frequency among players in the U.S. Yo, oh, damn, we got both Shizno and Manuel. Yo, what's up to both of y'all, man? It's amazing to me how gullible people are on social media. Oh, my goodness. Hold it down, limited. What's up, Emmanuel A1? TF2 Spy 492. Hello there. Yo, what's up, TF2 Spy? Thank you for joining, man. Thank you for joining. So yeah, talking about this real quick, man. IMO, free to play is ruining the industry. People expecting everything for free. Funny. That's what they say about Game Pass, except you have to pay to access all the 500 plus games on Game Pass. Free to play is just that free to play and then spending money on all the free to play BS. Only buy games at $30 and below, and I'm proud of it. Thank God for Game Pass. Yo, shout out to Manuel. Yeah, yeah. Hey, but yeah, I saw this article and I had to talk about it, y'all. Because according to the data, 18% of players in the US buy a new video game about every 6 months, while 12% buy one about once a year. I only buy games where they're interesting to me. Yeah, yeah, and that's how most people are, right? TF2 Spy. With stuff like this, with any type of hobby like video games, or if you collect movies or TV shows, you're only going to buy what you're interested in. But it is kind of crazy these numbers, right? Where there are percentages of people who buy a game once every 6 months and 12 just once a year, and that once a year is probably Call of Duty. Tool Man, shout out to Tool Man. Thank you for joining. Should have said, "LOL." I think I buy games every month. I am so broke, yo. Hey man, um, I understand. I understand. I understand. Look, well, for me, I always like buying games on sale. Whether it was through places like eBay, and some people are afraid to buy from eBay. I'm not. I'm all about eBay. You could find some great games. By the way, if there's a tough to find game, chances are you could find it on eBay. And my favorite thing now it's a little different now because game collecting is hot right now. But I remember a few years ago, a lot of these games that are 50, 60, 70, 80, $100 now. I was buying these games for pennies on the dollar, $7, right? Very, very small amounts compared to what they're selling for now. A game off the top of my head that blew up to like $100 was what's that one? It's backwards compatible too, like the Bikini Warrior game on Onichibar or something like that. The game sucks, but I bought it for like $7. I bought it from like $7, right? And then the game he spiked during the when the 360 was about to go. But yeah, man, yeah, my thing is like, listen, definitely look for the best deal I can get. Oh, 100%. I'm all about the deals, man. Yo, Coco Fiend as always. Coco Fiend jumping in. The homie Coco Fiend. Thank you for joining. Games on sale is great, especially eBay, because the best deals can be found sometimes. Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. You got some of these sites, like Lukey Games and all that stuff. You could find some stuff there as well, but they could. My only issue with those is sometimes, let's say if you buy complete, it don't actually come complete. That stuff kind of drives me crazy. I've bought a lot on eBay too. Got me a nice last edition 360 last year, actually. Oh yeah, man. I'm all about that eBay. Crash Zero, thank you for joining. It's been a while since I could join. Yeah. Listen, Coco Fiend, anytime you join is always a pleasure, man. And same to Crash Zero. What's up, man? But yeah, back to this article. The survey also found that 33% of players buy a new game less often than once per year, meaning that a combined 63% of players buy 2 games or fewer every year. How do I beef up your collection? You know, eBay, GameStop. Some GameStops, their retro section and game section is actually not too bad. You could try, other sites like Lukey Games. They sell retro games. Usually not for a bad price, too bad. But ultimately, yeah, unfortunately, Crasher Zero. What's up, Anthony Chipmunk? But yeah, unfortunately, Crasher Zero. Right now, game collecting is hot. It's a hot thing right now. So game prices are a little inflated. Not too bad. You can find, you should be able to find something like, if you're interested in like an old Call of Duty, you'll find those no problem, right? So most games you could find at a solid price. But just beware that if there might be some that you want that might be kind of in demand, that'd be a little bit on the expensive side. But other than that, yeah. eBay, GameStop, sites like Lukey Games, Facebook Marketplace for some people, Craigslist if you're that bold. I suggest you do your homework and make sure games come with everything. Yeah, definitely. If you're completist, because some people they just want the game and don't really care about the rest. Me personally, I can't. And GameStop had a history of this that I can't stand. I cannot stand when GameStop would sell a game and didn't come with the actual case. Oh, that drove me crazy. I would purposely find a version with the case just to have that version, man. But I'm getting that PS5 for Christmas. That'll be my ninth console. How many consoles you got right now, Crasher Zero? I'm curious how many consoles you have. Yeah, and then if you're going to collect for multiple consoles, if you got the money for it, go for it, right? But yeah, that could be a little pricey in itself. Yeah, if you want the case, I hate when they do that. Have the actual case drives me crazy too. Yeah. GameStop could go kiss my ass when they do that stuff. But yeah, back to the article here. A combined 33% of players buy 2 or fewer games a year, and this is something that I've tried to talk about before. And when I hear others say, "Man, gamers aren't." A lot of these people aren't gamers, and so. It's because we're now seeing a lot of gamers don't buy games. Don't get me wrong. I know that y'all in the chat do. Y'all in the chat. Hell, listen. I don't shame anybody for how they play. If you play most of your game through Game Pass, do you? That ain't what I'm talking about. What I am talking about though is that listen, what we're seeing in the gaming industry is not that. Man, all these gamers are just buying games upon buying games. When you buy 1 or 2 games a year, that tell me that you're just buying the annual Call of Duty and Madden or something, or you're just buying your NBA 2K and Madden every year, right? And this is why exclusives aren't the big seller like they used to. This is why the industry is shifting so much and has changed so much over these last 5 years. Because although we got these big AAA games, the average gamer just aren't buying it, and that's why I always try to. That's why I be saying things like when it comes to physical ownership, I'm a dinosaur, And when it comes to buying games, I understand that I'm in the minority, because the numbers are showing that most of the gamers out there, y'all good. A lot of them are just good with their 1 to 2 games a year. And if I was a betting man, that's either your Call of Duty, Madden, NBA 2K, something in that realm, right? I have gotten good physical PS5 games on eBay for pretty cheap, and even still some wrapped in new. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's why I like. That's why I like eBay. That's why I like eBay. You can find good stuff on there. You can even find some sealed games on there, and a lot of them are for good prices. And so some of them are. And then another thing with eBay is that a lot of them sellers, they're just trying to get rid of the games. They're not necessarily collectors or resellers to that extent. They're just trying to get rid of it, man. So they're going to sell you that game, and they if and that's why. By the way, that's why a lot of them, you have that option to you could buy it now or bid on it, or give your own price, and a lot of them will accept that. A lot of them will accept the counter price that you throw. Make an offer. That's what it is. Make an offer. Crasher Zero said, "I have the Nintendo 64, the Wii, the Wii U, the Switch, the 360, Series X, PS2, and PS4. Nice, nice collection of consoles there." Crasher Zero, love to hear it, man. Love to hear it, man. Love all the collectors and gamers out there. Yeah, eBay have a lot of new games for really cheap. Yeah, and that's also how I found games like Bomb Rush Cyberpunk. Right, that game had a physical release. I didn't know it. Saw it on eBay, and for $35. But Pentiment, the physical edition Pentiment for like $20, sealed off eBay. Just no. Yeah, but back to the article here. On the other end of the scale, 22% of players buy a new game around once every 3 months, while 10% saying they buy one roughly every month. Just 4% said they buy more than one game a month. And I think the number. I think this is. I think. What's this company's name again? Oh, Circana's. I think Circana's market research is pretty accurate here. I would 100% believe that just 4% of us are really that hardcore gamer that just buy games, buy games, buy games. And this is why I be trying to tell. This is why I try to say in my own podcast, like, look, guys, we're in the minority. We and I hope that this shines a light for some of us just how much in the minority we are, to where only 10% say they buy roughly one game every month, and the 4% are like us who just buy everything, right? So if you're buying approximately one game a month, you're only buying 12 games a year. Well, I say only, but that is kind of a lot of games, depending on how you look at things, right? But yeah, so really, so this really, like, does this kind of click with a lot of you guys the way that it is with me, that we're such a minority that people just and this is what confuses me about a lot of the backlash we see. The Game Pass backlash. To me, this kind of make Game Pass seem even better, because if people aren't buying games, how the fuck are they playing them? They got to be playing them somehow. And I would love to see if there's a breakdown on what percentage of these people who are and aren't buying games are Game Pass subs. I don't know if you could do that with Xbox and PC, or however the breakdown would be. I would love to see that number, right? Because it is fascinating to me that such a low percentage are really, in a way, carrying the industry. In the sense that they're the ones who are buying multiple games, trying different games, who are getting these different experiences. But the vast majority of gamers, like Shizno said, man, whether it was whether it's free to play or the annual Call of Duty or the annual Madden or the annual 2K, that's all they play, and they're good with that. And I think the numbers, and I think this is why we see the best selling games every year is the same shit over and over, plus or minus one or two games. Like Assassin's Creed will sell well, for example, right? Yeah, you'll get those, but this is why you see the same games every year are the best selling games, right? Commenting on the findings, Piscatella suggests that those 14% of players who buy one game or more per month are mainly responsible for the continued trajectory of full price games. Hyper enthusiasts, price sensitive players are really keeping things going, especially in the non free to play gaming space, he noted. Uh, well, listen, and that's kind of how it is, right? For example, it turned out not to be true, but earlier this week, people thought LeBron James was going to retire. So what happened? People bought inflated basketball tickets for Lakers games, whether it was home or away, right? So the huge LeBron fans are thinking that, man, this might be the last time I ever see him play. Ended up paying the premium, and I guess that's kind of what Pierce Gatella is saying here, right? To where the 14% of us who buy games, who don't mind buying them day one, who buy everything new, or who buy a lot of new games per year, but I don't know, that wording's a little weird because it's almost like it's blaming 14% of gamers for game prices. I don't know if I believe that part, and here's why. If 14% of the audience, like if you got 100 people and only 14 are buying it, I don't see how that tells a publisher or somebody, or you put your product out there that, man, look at this, 14%. You know what I'm saying? I would think the number would be higher for them to, for the continued trajectory of full price games to be put on more people. Hopefully my wording might have been a little iffy there. Hopefully I got my point across. Hyper enthusiastic, price insensitive players are really keeping things going, especially in the non free to play gaming space. I hope this article breaks down the free to play gaming space because while yes, those free to play games are free to play, they also often have just some of the worst unbearable levels of microtransactions. That credit to these free to play games credit, people will pay it. That's why I couldn't get into something like Genshin Impact, man. All the free to play aspects to it. And me personally, just me personally, um, I don't play any free to play games. Not my thing, and it's because of how the monetization works for any type of progress. And while paid games will have some of that, it's not to the extent, not even half as bad. Piscatella also pointed out that these numbers seem unusual. It's likely because anyone who follows him already falls into that 14% bracket of players who buy games more than and therefore may not be aware of the bigger picture. Before replying, know that even seeing this post likely puts you into that hyper enthusiastic bracket, so the actions of you and your immediate cohorts likely do not match those of the general gaming audience. Yeah, that's reasonable. That's reasonable. This idea that, listen, if you're aware of Circana and I guess Matt Pascatella, then chances are you're in that hardcore sector, hardcore gamers who follow all this stuff. Because that's another thing about gaming, right? Most gamers, they don't follow this stuff to the extent that we do, not even close. Um, at most, the Game Pass price increase this week, that might have been one of the things that hit a casual gamer when the Switch 2 released early this year. That was another, so you'll get some of those moments, but the day to day, hey, here's what's going on in gaming world news. The average gamer just isn't following it like that. You know what I'm saying? The average person probably, and this is just kind of reacting to what this article is saying. But still, man, this is nuts. In a separate post related to this point, hyper enthusiasts, price sensitive players, Piscatella suggested that the reason game prices are rising and the deluxe editions are becoming more commonplace is that because 14% of players are less likely to worry about the cost of games, meaning most pricing is focused on them, i.e., wells. So yeah, I'm getting a PS5 for Christmas. What should I get for my first game? I'm not sure what to recommend, to be honest with you, Crash, and that's because I mostly play on Xbox, and my favorite games I played on PlayStation were some of their older games, God of War 3 remastered, and Gravity Rush 1 and 2. You should be able to find them for pretty cheap on the PlayStation Store. I think they're excellent games. So those are my recommendations. Some PS5 current, not sure because I haven't played it or didn't like them enough. But yeah, but back to the article here. Um, about the 14% here who. Oh yeah, now I remember what I was saying. Yeah, so that 14%, they call them whales, right? And they're people who are these are people who, if you ever wonder why who's spending, on NBA 2K with virtual currency, who's spending hundreds and hundreds on all that on virtual currency, so that all their players could be 99 overall and all this other nonsense. It's because there is a select group of gamers out there, of people who just got this unlimited resource, or if they don't have unlimited resource, they sure don't have the responsibilities the average person have, that they could just keep throwing money at the highest editions or building their character or the free to play stuff, whatever you buy on those games, packs or something, I don't know. Um, so yeah, and this is what makes an article like this interesting, and this study interesting, the market research study is I even if it is kind of segmented, because if you took the survey, you're most likely a hardcore enough to be aware of this. I still think that the numbers will line up. If there's a way to judge even at a larger distance, I think these numbers will line up. I guarantee most gamers are just buying their handful of favorites a year. Most gamers aren't trying to buy, say, South of Midnight, or aren't trying to buy Ghost of Yotai, or aren't trying to buy, hell, even Clear Obscure Expedition 33. The average gamer, I guarantee, is never going to try that game unless they play it on Game Pass. And that game did well, and that game sold well, right? But it didn't sell. But a lot of these games, you notice that they're only going to penetrate so far. That's why the upper echelon, your GTA's, Madden's, Minecraft's, every developer wants them, but very few approaches it. My major majority of games are under 360. I got almost 80 plus 360 games. Yeah. The 360, that's a great console to collect for Crash. Crash Zero. That's definitely a great console to collect for. So good, man. I think got about 150 myself. Yeah, I think so. I got a good number as well. But back to the article here. Been talking about this trend for years when it comes to game spending. He wrote, "Why are there premium game pads, $150 collector's editions, 149? Just say 150. My goodness, collector's editions, pro consoles, and general rising prices, because the price insensitive affluent players are the ones doing more of the spending as everyone else shifts to free to play." Yeah, I could buy this. I could buy this, right? Uh and even then, there is crossover. There's always going to be crossover with this stuff. There are people who bought the Elite controllers, or might have bought a PS5 Pro, or might have bought a Scuff controller, whatever the whatever the case is, or bought the I don't think, because like NBA, right? NBA 2K, you get NBA League Pass with that. So there are people who probably normally would just buy the standard version, buys the most expensive version of 2K, and get League Pass. So there's going to be crossover. But yeah, it definitely does. I could definitely see. And listen, I was in that case before. That's why I own so many games. I have so many controllers. I have so many controllers. I got all these consoles. I got this large ass collection of hundreds of games. Because I was doing that well. I was doing that well. Man, Eternal, get the fuck out of here, man. South of Midnight wasn't terrible. That was a great game. And if that game was on PlayStation, you'd be kissing that game's ass, man. Get the fuck out of here, Eternal. Lots of great games to collect on the 360. There were so many different games. Oh yeah, definitely, man, definitely. Yeah, it's a great console to collect for, definitely. The Midnight Walk is 10 times better than South of Midnight. I don't know what the Midnight Walk is. All right, and it's probably, I don't know what the Midnight Walk is, and I don't care because you're not going to tell me what to think or any of that. Uh, but yeah, yeah. But I already know. You just come up here and turn on the starter pot, man. I already know how you work, homie. You come up here, say that nonsense, and all that stuff. But it is what it is. But yeah. Back to the Vontae. Two different types of games. Such a dumbass comparison. Yeah, you got to understand. Eternal's a PlayStation guy, so he comes in, stirs up the comments or myself, say some stupid shit like that, and think he won some pointless argument. Yeah. But yeah. To wrap this article here. Yeah. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, of course, she's not. Another reported published uh, tongue tied. Another report published by Comscore last year found that 82% of American video game players had made in-game purchases in the last 12 months, highlighting that while some players may not necessarily be buying a lot of games, they're still putting money into the industry, uh, be it through in-game purchases and free-to-play titles. Yeah, I think. And by the way, I think that people try to find blames for why games have microtransactions and DLC and all this shit. I think at the end of the day, I think that the last part, what the article of how even that although people aren't buying games, they'll still drop money on in-game purchases. I 100% believe that that's the case. Like as high as 82% of American gamers are spending some type of microtransaction, whether it's virtual currency, shark cards, DLC, or the like, right? And I think that's the bigger issue, as big of an issue as the fact that people don't buy games, just buying one or two games per year. Yeah, Eternal. I don't care, man. I don't care. I don't care what you got to say, because you're just all you're gonna do is be contrarian to literally everything I think and say. So I'm not in the mood to argue. Like usually, man, I have fun with you, talk about and bounce off you. Today, I don't feel like it, man. So you just say whatever. I don't care. It's still crazy to me that we are in a time where there are consoles increasing in price. Oh, yeah, 100%. This is the first, and hopefully this is the only generation, right? Hopefully, all the political bullshit going on, all the supply chain issues, whatever goes into manufacturing these consoles. Hopefully, all that gets sorted out so that next generation we go back to the norm, right? The norm of after year or two, the price of the current gen console, the next gen console will go down, and the you know the price of next gen console go down, and the average person could go back to being able to afford the entry, getting into gaming. Because a lot of people, because if you don't know, for example, half of PlayStation Online users are on the PS4, and there's still a lot of people who are still on the Xbox One, right? And a large part of that is just because there are a lot of families and a lot of people and a lot of parents just don't can't justify spending five, six, $700 on a console. That's just too like it was too much for them at the $500 price point. It's now unaffordable when it's 550, 600, 700, and so on. And as this article said, the people who are going to still drop in that amount are going to be the affluent people, or the people who could afford it, or the people who got the disposable income. I don't think everyone who buys a lot of games are affluent. I think that's a little misguided there. But you do got to have some good income, to be a hardcore gamer, to be the type that's buying every game and all that stuff. Eternal's another dumb, ignorant PlayStation fanboy. Yeah. Look, man. Yeah, yeah. You know, he just want to argue, man. Sometimes, and not today. Usually, I'll entertain you internal. I'm not in the mood for that, man. I don't need to hear that PlayStation is great, and then we go back and forth. No, it sucks. No, Xbox sucks, and all this other bullshit. Next year is going to be interesting. I heard they are not prioritizing PlayStation 4 anymore. My goodness, it took them this whole generation to not prioritize the PlayStation 4. Well, listen, they could do that, but if people can't afford your console at five, six, $700, they're probably just going to stick with the PS4 until this generation ends. The consoles get liquidated, and then they'll find that shit for like $300 on eBay in 2028. All right, that's probably what'll happen. You know. But yeah, yeah, yeah. This is crazy, man. 60% of gamers, US gamers, just buy one or two games a year. Yeah, listen, we've been saying forever, man. Um, PlayStation 4 is still holding the industry on back. She ain't that the truth, man. Because like I can't. It it reminded me. It's almost as ridiculous as when the PS2 refused to die. But at least the PS2 was the best selling console of all time, man. And the PlayStation 3, which yeah, okay, it sucked, especially in the beginning. My goodness, with shit like Near and that dragon game, that was awful, right? Um, yeah. But yeah, it's just what was I saying, man? I got distracted with Shizno's comment here. Yeah, man. But yeah, yeah. But game like this shit's just got to move forward eventually, man. Okay, got it. So this is an echo chamber too, and you console war when it's convenient, but passive aggressively weak. Yeah, Eternal, fuck you. All right, fuck you. You're not gonna sit here and insult me. All right, you're not gonna sit here and insult me on my own show, trying to act like I'm passive aggressive weak because I don't want to fucking argue with you about video games. I want to talk about why 60% of us gamers, which by the way, notice how I didn't say, oh man, 60% of you Sony fanboys don't buy games. This is literally a broad stroke that gamers just aren't buying games. But you want to come up here and shit on South of Midnight. You want to argue, and then you want to come in and here and insult me. Fuck you, Eternal. All right, man. And I'm gonna leave it at that. You could say and think whatever you want, but this is the last time I'm addressing you today, right? Because again, I don't mind, but I'm not in the mood for this stupid ass back and forth, man. This back and forth of you're in an echo chamber, you fanboy and console war and all this stupid shit, man. Get out of here, man. King David been saying the new one might be $1,000 to $1,200, and I kind of hope he's right. I want that motherfucker to be a beast. Yeah, I don't think it'll be that expensive. If it's that expensive, then Microsoft really don't give a shit about console sales. Now, they really don't give a damn if it's that damn expensive. Because even I ain't buying it day one. If it was $1,000, man. Even I ain't doing that shit, man. Yeah. Look, man, very few things get me riled up, but trying to insult me because I don't want to argue with you about video games, Emmanuel, like, come on, man. It's video games. It ain't that damn serious. Why don't you block them for your channel? It's because I don't like blocking people. You know, usually I don't care if you're a PlayStation fan, Nintendo fan, any of that shit. And honestly, most of the time I don't care that he comes in here and does that stupid nonsense. But it's like I'm trying to tell the man today I ain't in the mood. But yeah, it's just I guess it's just a me thing. I've never been the biggest fan of trying to block anybody. But hey, if you want them out, let me know because I do block on request, and I'll get them out of here for today. They always play the victim. Yeah, man. Like this dude knows it's an Xbox channel. I'm an Xbox fan, and this topic ain't even directly Xbox. It's about gamers aren't buying games and how that impacts the industry, and it's an unfortunately big impact to the industry. Because if gamers aren't buying games, then you know what I'm saying? No wonder why there's so many layoffs. There's so many canceled games. There's so many canceled projects and studio closures and studio consolate. No, is that what I'm thinking of? Consolidation, yeah, studio consolidation and all that, right? Because and look, the gaming industry. I'm not sitting here putting all the blame on the gamers. Ooh, no, no, no. Let's not let me not come out that way. Let me not fall into that trap of like if you gamers didn't buy games and these poor devs. No, 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 no. The gaming industry, a lot of it did it to themselves. Because and I've been trying to say for years now that the rise to $70 games has led to people buying less games because that's a lot of money to ask for the average person just to play a video game. And so it seems like as we're seeing the average person or the average gamer, U.S. American gamer, they're like, all right, cool. I'll drop 1 or 2 games a year for $70. That's it. Or as was mentioned, they're playing a free to play game probably and dropping money that way. I would love to see the breakdown on who has subscription services and stuff like that. And not. If it's that expensive, that shit better be customizable PC. Yeah, man, that shit better be better than the PC. Because a $1,000 console, ooh no, that's a no for me, man. And I'm a huge Xbox fan. I love gaming on Xbox, but I like listen, man. We all draw the line in the sand somewhere. And if y'all listen, if y'all can handle the $1,000 console, be my guest, man. Yeah, that's all. I'm just gonna get a PC. Look, I got a PC. Now my PC when I upgraded did cost more than $1,000, but right. But still, I got a PC, Coco Fiend, and it's like, and I don't really use that for gaming because I like Xbox so much. But that'll be strong on me into doing that too, Coco Fiend. Like a $1,000 console, y'all could have that one. Y'all could listen. You're not going to be finding me up here jumping up and down just because it's powerful. If it's $1,000, we all got a line to draw somewhere, and I'm drawing the line at 4-digit consoles. I couldn't afford $1,000 to be honest. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Even when money was good for me, I was listen. I buy most of my games on sale, man, and for a good reason. Cause I ain't trying to buy every fucking game full price day one. All right, it's one thing when it's a series I love. Huge Assassin's Creed fan. Yeah, I'll get Assassin's Creed day one. But I waited until a lot of these other games were on sale. Yeah, we need a modular console. Yeah. A solution like that isn't too bad. It's kind of like a modular Game Pass would take away a lot of the anger people have to the price increase. Xbox talks about choice. Maybe the next evolution of Game Pass in their console is giving us the choice to customize our everything how we want it. You just want the day one games, boom. You want the ultimate plus EA plus Ubisoft and pay $30 and maybe the same thing for the console because I'm telling you right now, King David might be the only one jumping joy for $1,000 console, man. King David also said there won't be a PS6. Now, yeah, there'll be a PlayStation 6. It just won't be that as powerful. There is no PlayStation 6. They're making a handheld. It's over for PlayStation. Is this true? Where do you guys get this information from? I'm curious where you guys get this info. Because listen, I don't know any. I fully admit I don't know anything about the next gen stuff, man. I just been thinking for years it's coming in 2027. Some say as early as next year. My prediction has been 2027 for the longest. A lot of gamers playing more free-to-play games than the majority of big games this year. Yeah, I could believe that, Kenneth. Oh, by the way, what's up, Kenneth Williams? Oh, I didn't realize that you were a Georgia Bulldogs fan. Okay, that's what's up. That's dope. So I guess you're from that area. Or maybe you went to that school. But either way, that's cool. But yeah, I could believe that. Looking at these numbers, listen, Kenneth, when we're finding out 60% of gamers buy 1 or 2 games a year, 4% are really buying more than one game a month. 10% are buying it at on average a game a month, right? That tells you, and yet we also see that gaming is making more money than ever. Well, the money's going somewhere, and it clearly seems to be in mobile gaming, right? It seems to be a mobile gaming or the free to play games, I should say. So you probably onto something there. Great title, in fact. Hey, look, Gogo Po. I'm just reading the info out there. All right, I'm not. I don't come up here and make up any. I make up anything. I see the info, come to my own conclusions. And listen, I read through the article through the stream, man, and so gamers just don't buy games. I don't know what to tell you. Y'all aren't buying games. When I say y'all, obviously I mean that in a completionist sense, and of every gamer out there, not just those who are watching this, because I know that y'all in the chat buy games, play games, or because again, that's why y'all are here. Even Eternal, man, even Eternal being the PlayStation fan he is, all right, he always talk about he buys his games. We're clearly in the minority, you know. We're clearly in the minority, and unfortunately, the casuals, man, they like their 1 or 2 games a year, whether it's COD, Madden, 2K, whatever the fuck it is, and I guess maybe free to play games or something. You know, the Genshin Impacts and Fortnite. Fortnite's free to play, I believe. I don't play Fortnite, so I'm trying to remember this stuff. Is Roblox free? I think Roblox is also free to play. And another thing. Maybe this is why people are still playing them damn games. And these games, Fortnite, have been the biggest game for like 8 years, right? I'm ready to pay $1,000 for that Xbox ROG Ally X to honestly only use it at home. Might as well pay that for a beast console. Hey, listen, Emmanuel, if you could afford it, I ain't mad at you. All right. Listen, guys, if you got the money for this hobby, like for the high end aspect of it, do your thing, man. Enjoy that Xbox ROG Ally X. Enjoy it. You know, enjoy however much the next console costs. Personally, as somebody who is a bit more financially conscious, listen, this is what I tried to say last week about the Xbox price increase. I don't like spending more. All right, I don't. If I like that, then I'd be jumping for joy at that game. You know that Nintendo released $80 games, right? I was glad that Microsoft decided not to sell The Outer Worlds 2 at 80, instead dropped it back to 70. You know, and I do not want to pay more for Game Pass. Hell, I did what everybody else did, went on Amazon and bought them damn cards, so that I could have a few months of leeway, right? And this comes from somebody who thinks Game Pass is still worth it. So I am not gun ho about a $1,000 console. I mean, you're starting to hit 4 digits, man. Like shit, I get it. Gaming's a luxury item, but damn, it don't have to be that luxurious. I'm console only. Don't ever want a PC. Want another PC? Yeah. That's I realize I'm the same way when I upgraded my PC, and my PC's a good one, man. It's why I could stream in 4K 60 and all that stuff, but it doesn't get much use gaming wise. It's not a belief; it's a fact. There's no PS6. Just accept it. This is all right. I gotta do after this show. I'm gonna do some research because this is the first I'm hearing that there. I heard that. Listen, and by the way, when it comes to all this next gen stuff, it's all rumors until anything's official. So it's really just a bunch of bullshit right now. But the rumor that I saw on YouTube some time ago is that the PS6 was going to be not as powerful to hit an affordability price, but we'll see. There's no Xbox console either accepted as well. Now, obviously, that's not true either. I'm okay with the 1K console if it's good. Define good. You got to define good because I think the Series X is an excellent console, and I bought it for $500 in November of 2020. So I don't want to pay $1,000 for a car. I might have to I might have to be a slow adopter next generation if that's the case, man. And I'm not rich. I'm pretty broke. It's worth it to me because I game a ton. Yeah, that's fair. And I guess when it comes to stuff like that, these luxury items like game consoles, PCs, and whatever else, you really do weigh what your value to it is. It's just that I don't know, man. It's just for me. I don't think I could stomach $1,000 console. That's a tough one for me personally. So hopefully they got it from King David. Okay, they that would be cute comment, but AMD already confirmed the next Xbox. Yeah. AMD, Microsoft confirmed it, then reconfirmed it yesterday or Sunday. You have to remember right now, 3 chips of fast food is over $30 for most. Yeah, that's true. Um, but your boy Unlimited likes cooking, and even the grocery store ain't cheap, man. The grocery store ain't cheap either, right? I'm born and raised in Georgia, but that's a football team I love. That's what's up, man. I respect it. I respect it. Fat Google Post sacrifice will be made if necessary. Hey, shout out to Google Poe and Manuel, man. They like, look, man, if it's $1,000, hey, I'm still get it. I respect that. I'm in the camper right now. I'll get it eventually. Look, if my fortunes turn around and money's good again, then I'll be the first to admit, yeah, I'll get that some bitch too. But right now, it's like, ooh, no, that's a tough one to swallow. I hardly buy full price anymore. The last game I bought at full price was Borderlands 4, and that was a discount. And Borderlands 4, that was and before that was ReFantasmo a year ago. So Gogo Poe, are you in the camp who buys, 1 or 2 games a year? Or is it just that you just buy your games on sale now? But you're not a day one guy. You just wait until that, them holiday sales, the summer sale, the spring sale, or something like that. The younger games and the younger gamers into Fortnite, Roblox, and Minecraft. Oh man, ain't that the truth, Kenneth? Ain't that the truth? I'll never forget. This was a few years ago, man, where after I saw a kid spend his whole Christmas money on Roblox points or whatever they're called, and even the cashier at GameStop was like, "You sure you want to do this?" Like Roblox got a hook, line, and sinker on kids, man. Of course, I buy games. I don't value PlayStation Plus over buying games. Never have, never will. PlayStation Plus is good for what it is, but buying games is smarter. Yeah, it's funny. We've argued when I've tried to make that point about Game Pass because that's exactly how I feel about Game Pass. I love the service, but hey, if I want a game, I'm still buy it. The irony is, I shouldn't have bought Metaphor. It's on Game Pass now. Yep. Then that's happened to me a number of times. Gogo Poe. I bought a game 6 months to a year later. It's on Game Pass. I'm like, well, shit. Well, here we are. Coco Fo said, "Had the cost of retro consoles went up too." I don't think retro consoles themselves are expensive, but a lot of the actual games have went up. Sometimes it feels like Coco Fiend. Unless you're a sports fan, the retro game you're looking for has probably gone way too expensive now. Now, obviously, that's not true. You could find some shitty game from the PlayStation 2 or OG Xbox for cheap. But you could find some gems for cheap. Get something like Gun Valkyrie, great game on the OG Xbox. That ain't expensive. Jade Empire's not expensive. I don't think. So you can still find good stuff in the retro market. It's just that there are also you also run into that also issue of there's probably some rare game or popular game that just shot up in price for some reason. Yeah, more power to you. Have fun, my dudes. I can't, unfortunately. Yeah. I never thought we'd have this discussion on if we value $1,000 consoles. Nah, look, man, I'm glad my Xbox Series X is still in good shape because I because that $500 maybe what I'm about to say is why Gogo Poe and Emmanuel One are like, yeah, I'll buy $1,000 Xbox next gen Xbox if it's powerful enough because we're 5 years into this generation. I got my Series X in November 2020. That bad boy is still giving me hours upon hours of entertainment every day. You can't beat that kind of value if you think about it. And hell, that's how PC guys justified their $2,000, $3,000 PCs. If you want to get like the higher end graphics card and CPUs and all that stuff and monitors and have you seen the price of an OLED monitor, a good one? Some of them are more expensive than like a 65-inch OLED TV. So I guess what I'm saying is, maybe the 4% who buy everything are onto something. By the way, Humble Bumble has great games this month. Atomic Heart, V Rising, and System Shock Remake. Pretty good for $15. Oh, I'm gonna look into that, man. See, that's what I like. Atomic Heart, the System Shock Remake for $15. I like that. I like that. Sign me up for stuff like that. Xbox guys value Game Pass over buying games and hurt the current Xbox brand. Xbox as a whole, and Xbox gamers are finally accepting that. Yeah. I think you know what? I'm not gonna argue. Whatever, man. If that's what you think, that's what you think. Sorry, like I said, Eternal. Usually, I'll go back and forth. If I didn't like you, I would have blocked you, man. But not today, man. I'm a gamer who enjoys consoles and PC. That's what's up, TF2 Spy. Yeah. Pretty much all of us here are console guys. But again, best friend is a PC gamer. Daya, who frequently, when the Queen of Green, the first lady of chat, Daya, she's a PC girl first, a PC lady first, right? And that's the beauty. Ideally, that should be the beauty of gaming, right? That we all like our platforms, and then we just come together and like, hey, man, I like this game, this, and that. But that don't always make for best conversation, right? It's a lot better to say Xbox is dead for the millionth time and get people like Eternal riled up. And you know what I'm saying? Get the PlayStation fans riled up and get Xbox fans riled up. Except for Shizno. Shizno don't get riled up. Shizno's always even killed with this stuff. My Series X is plenty powerful. If they could give it the new UI that let us access Steam and GOG and Epic, I wouldn't get the next Xbox. Yeah. I'm not sure if I go that far. Well, again, depends on price, I guess. But because I love new hardware. I love that's what I love about console generations. It's almost like a reset button. And I like that console moves forward, right? So I would love if the next Xbox so if the current, because remember, the Xbox One got the Series X UI, right? But most of us still went to the Series X, and that's how I feel about the next gen consoles. Assuming it's affordable enough, right? It comes out. Let's say if it's $600, I could live with $600. Not ideal. I could live with $600 console, right? And it has that. And then we found out, Series X is also getting the new UI. You could download your Steam games and GOG games and Epic Store and all that stuff. That'd be awesome too. But it'll just be. I personally would see it the way that I do the Xbox One. Because you could do stuff like cloud gaming on your Xbox One consoles, for example. So far, Xbox is the only one to have announced a next-gen console. Oh, I don't know, technically true because the Switch 2 just came out, right? Because the Switch 2, I don't know, I guess it's considered next-gen console, right? So technically, I guess technically that's a 10th generation console. I could be wrong. Yeah, I agree that $30 a month is pretty hefty for most. Yeah. Well, I mean, listen, if people are only buying 1 or 2 games a year, I don't think $30 a month is that bad. Because I guess the rest of their money's going to bills, which fair enough if that's the case. Less people who buy the next Xbox and those that bought the current gen, then maybe Xbox will finally understand. Nobody wants or cares about Xbox other than that I already have one. And you see, it's shit like that. Eternal. That's why I say you come in and just stoke the flames. Yeah, it'll probably sell less, but it'll still do fine. I'm not worried at all about Xbox and their hardware. To me, that's just gaming media nonsense that wants to get people riled up. I'm at around 3 to 4, and on sale usually. I'm tempted to get Battlefield 6 full price, but I can't find it on sale for $5 or $10 off. Hopefully, sometimes the Xbox store will do that, right? But when a game comes out, it's about 10. You get like that 10-20% off. And I think EA Play has did that too. I could be wrong. But I think so. You might be able to find something like that for Battlefield 6. I don't buy day one like I used to. Just not in the cards right now. Got to go out after sale. Yeah, same here. Same here. Same here. Look, even in the ideal situation, I don't buy most games day one. Just a handful. You know. I'm listen. I'm probably realistically. I'm in the. I'd say I'm in that 4% that buys more than one game a month. It depends, right? But but again, we're in the minority. All of us in the minority here who buys multiple games. It seems like without Game Pass, it'd probably be 6 or 7 a year. That's fair because because you could yeah, and that's why I like Game Pass because you could play them now, buy them later, and that helps from a financial aspect. It helps big time. A Game Pass is still $20 per month if you get the 3 month $60 Game Pass cards. New legal broken down in this live stream. That is correct, and that's what I did. That's what I did after the announcement because the price don't go into effect until November 4th. By the way, so if you're still on the month to month, go to Amazon, get your card, a few, get you like 4 of them. Spend a little money, get you like 4 of them, and be set for a year or something. That's what I used to do with CD keys. I'm in the camp of buying games day one for what I'm interested in, buying it on sale. Yes, Kenneth. And again, that makes I think that's the majority of us. There, listen, unless you're LeBron James kid who could afford buying every game day one immediately. Most of us are going to buy it that way. We have games that we're interested in; those take priority. Everything else we're going to buy on sale, and I suggest doing it that way. Because most of us because it's just financial responsibility, you know. You can only play one game at a time anyway. Well, with Quick Resume, you got Quick Resume that's a little different, but you know what I'm saying. You can't have a control in your hand and you play Mario and Sonic at the same time. You know, you're only going to play one game at a time, even with awesome things like Quick Resume. 6 to 8 near full price. I mean, I still buy a few games on deep discount every month or so. Yeah. You bought a 30-year-old game at full price. Congratulations. That must be it's what Eternal said or something. I've been playing Final Fantasy Tactics. Didn't wait for a damn sale. Bought it day one. Been enjoying it. And of course, bought it physical. Yes, the entire game is on disc. You bought? Yeah. That's perfect response to something like that, man. Congratulations. And that's how the average person feels. People don't really care, unless you do a collection video because you're there for the collection. And that's what you should do, Eternal, man. You always talk about the games, man. Do a collection video. I'll legitimately watch a collection video if you do it. Honest to God, because I love collection videos. So do a collection video, man, and let me know in the comments like, hey, man, I upload a collection video, and I'll go watch it. That's what you should do instead of bragging in my chat to people who don't give a damn on how you spend your money. That's a good point, Unlimited. Didn't think of that. I am sucker for new hardware. Yeah, new hardware is exciting for us gamers. And by the way, and then there's some crossover, right? A lot of us are gamers and crossover into being tech enthusiasts. Switch 2 is a full generation behind. True, but it's still Nintendo's current gen console. But it's true. If you don't think less people will buy the next Xbox than those about the Series X, you're mistaken. That isn't console warranty common sense. Yeah, it might happen. It depends on the price and stuff like that. But I ain't worried about Xbox, man. I'm not in the business worrying about Xbox. I'm in the business that, hey, is Xbox giving me good games? Yes, I'm a fan of Xbox. And then we got to figure out why gamers don't buy games. Because you come here and say, oh, yes, I bought Final Fantasy Tactics, and good. I'm glad you enjoyed it. You know, I'll buy a game, enjoy it, but a lot of people only buy a handful of games a year. And why is that? And I think it's more. There's more to it than that. AAA games are $70 because there are plenty of 60, 50, 40, 35, $25 games out there, and they aren't being bought. It's just don't be. So many try to act like Xbox doesn't make all the money they do with games and Game Pass if they're in some kind of trouble. Just makes me laugh. Yes, yeah, that's one of the things. That's why don't. That's why I don't let people like Eternal get to me, because exactly, man. Xbox is fine. At the end of the day, just give me good games. Give me the good games, and I'm happy. Everything else will work itself out, and if it don't, it don't. You know, if it don't, it don't. I saw Plume telling people that buying the card is bad. I don't know how it's bad. All right, it's just the buying the card for $60 for 3 months is literally just paying $20 for 3 months. There ain't nothing wrong with that, and it's on Amazon, and it's not like they're stolen cards or some shit. That might have been the case with CD Keys, though. I ain't gonna lie. COD lost $3 million by putting it on Game Pass. Hey, and if Microsoft could swallow that, then good for them, right? And so, hey, so that's what's up. If they want to lose 300 million, I mean, by putting COD on Game Pass, play COD on Game Pass. You out here trying to shame people for not buying everything game one. Nobody cares, man. I don't usually buy games on day one anymore. I wait until the game's on discount. That's what's up, TF2 Spy. And by the way, other than Eternal and maybe somebody else, that's what everybody has said. They're either buying games on discount or they buy the games they want and then get most games on discount. And that's what I do. That's what most of us do. I'm going to buy mine regardless. Yo, shout out to Phase 114. I need to hit Phase up, man. Phase up. I saw YouTubers telling people that buying the card is bad. Well, they could tell them to kiss your ass, because you're going to save a little money buying these cards. And if you stack up on them, good. Listen, guys, let's be clear. I might think Game Pass is still worth it at $30, but we at the end of the day are consumers. So put your money where your mouth is. Buy these cards and stack them on Game Pass. If Xbox, Microsoft don't like it, well, that's on them for having cards out there that we could buy. I'm stacking up on cards since the announcement. Yeah, a lot of people are, Kenneth. I wouldn't mind making a collection video of games so far with Xbox games even more. I like games because they are fun and interesting to me. Exactly, TF2 Spy. And that's why I love gaming as well, man. I have a genuine great time with so many games. It's a fantastic hobby, or else I would have given it up years ago. And unfortunately, I do know people in my life who's given up gaming because it just stopped being fun for them. And if that ever happens to me, if that ever happens, I have to check that I'm depressed first. I got to make sure I ain't dealing with major depression or something. And if it ain't depression, then and I'm finally done with gaming, then it was a fun ride. But I don't see that happening for me personally. It's just too great of a hobby. Game Pass is why gamers don't buy games. Eternal. This article on screen is not just, man, what Xbox gamers are not buying gamers. What's going on? It's American gamers in general don't buy games. So if Xbox gives the average gamer a way to access 500 games when they aren't buying it anyway, then hey, that sounds like a plus to me. And if Xbox needs to figure out how to not lose money with it or lose 300 million, whatever the fuck it is with Call of Duty, that's for them to decide, not us. We're the fans of the Xbox. We're the gamers here. We're going to spend our money how we want. All right, and clearly gamers, they don't spend their money on games. All right, it doesn't register in your head for some reason that we are the minority. It's not just the Xbox thing. Nintendo gamers don't buy games. PlayStation gamers don't buy games. Like Ghost of Yotai, that shit ain't gonna break no fucking records. Buying cards is a good idea. Yes, it is. What I want for the average Xbox gamers to continue to not buy games of value Game Pass above all. On Xbox, every Xbox gamer see this to not buy games and continue to support Game Pass. And to that, I say gamers do. A lot of Xbox gamers, as you see in the chat, do both. But again, you just want to argue because apparently 60% of American gamers don't buy games in general, which includes PlayStation and Nintendo and PC. So there you go. Some people just take Xbox so they can't think about anyone else. Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly. You know, because PlayStation don't even have a Game Pass alternative, and PlayStation people don't buy games. Sorry, Eternal. When you have a game of the year, so-called game of the year, and it only sold 1.5 million, and Sony out here saying, "Oh, we got 80 million consoles," that tells me them motherfuckers on your side don't buy games either. And unlike us on Xbox, at least if we don't buy the games, we can still play them. You know, if you don't buy a COD, you can still buy something off the store, right? You don't even get that alternative on Sony. That's why they were so desperate to get a multiplayer game, but they suck at it so much that even something like Marathon's going to be dead on arrival. And Sony's going to be back to bleeding money because despite all the consoles they shipped, it's a garbage console with garbage games. When they barely release games, and you could be on an Xbox podcast all you want and try to be like, I hope you guys never buy games or whatever. Hey, man, gamers in general, as you see on screen, aren't buying games. So that's on them. The next generation Xbox is the next generation going to. The next generation is not going to even buy games. That's for the hardcore and older gamers. Xbox understands this. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see where we're going from here. We'll see. And with that said, guys, I think I'm going to wrap it up here. I want to thank everyone for joining today's episode of the Unlimited Hangout. As always, great discussion, guys. Hold on. The article includes the gaming industry as a whole. Yes, Coco Fiend, exactly, man, exactly. And hell, Coco Fiend, if there are more, if Xbox is in third place, that also tells me that people who took the survey are less likely to be Xbox guys, right? So if you're less likely to be Xbox, that means that this survey probably has a bunch of Nintendo and PlayStation gamers who are saying they don't buy games either, right? And there seems to be multitude of reasons. I think it's more than just the fact that that a AAA game is $70. Oh, that definitely impacted it, right? Games being $70 has definitely impacted people buying games, right? Yeah, exactly my point, Eternal. If Xbox is third place, then the people doing the survey, there's a higher chance that they're a Nintendo, PC, or PlayStation gamer. So they're taking this survey and they say, look, I have a PlayStation. I only buy 1 or 2 games a year. So they're not going to buy Final Fantasy. They're not going to buy Ghost of Yotai. They're not going to buy Astro Bot. They're not going to buy Death Stranding 2. They're going to buy Call of Duty and probably Madden. And that's their gaming budget for 2025. All right. And the gaming industry releases a ton of great games every year. Right? A ton of great games every year. A lot of them are on Game Pass. And you know, and yet it seems like a lot of gamers still aren't buying. But as always, guys, you have a great rest of your week. Take care as always. Have a great time. Thank you everyone for joining. You know, like I said, even if you're a PlayStation fan, I really don't. You know, I really don't care. I just don't like the trolling shit, man. And I'll be wanting to argue all the fucking time about video games. But with that said, FaZe, Coco Fiend, Shizno, you guys have a great rest of your day, and I am out.